CBS 11's Jim Walker joins us with more on that, Jim.
Certainly spirited, but not as big as everyone thought it was going to be. The prison was ready for a huge number of protesters. Initially, they had guessed there'd be several thousand, but when the sun came up today, fewer than 200 were out there to make their feelings known. With candles and signs, those opposed to the death penalty gathered before sunrise.
This solves nothing. It brings no one back in Oklahoma alive. It's just another act of violence.
After the sun came up, the rain came out. Protesters ran for cover, but the short storm didn't dampen convictions on either side.
We're here on behalf of God to set the record straight that God is pro-death penalty, and when you commit a crime like McVeigh, he should be executed.
He was pronounced dead at 7:14 a.m.
Peggy Harris was elated by McVeigh's death, and like others, hoping it gives his victims peace.
I think he's had too many rights, and I think at 7 a.m. a lot of people are going to be a lot happier that this is finally over with, and that these people can go on and mourn their loss and don't have to listen about Timothy McVeigh anymore.
We'll walk hand in hand. But those opposed to capital punishment say killing McVeigh won't make any difference for lives already lost.
People are taking it kind of lightly, thinking that the execution is just going to end everything and everybody can go home and forget about it, forget that Oklahoma City ever happened. And to me, you just can't erase, you can't execute somebody and erase what happened.
Well, all of those protesters quickly disappeared almost as fast as they came. There were no conflicts, and much of the credit for that will go to the authorities, who not only kept the protesters far apart, but also made sure that there were no problems and kept a very close eye on things.
All right, Jim Walker reporting live in Terre Haute. I'm Ken Malloy. Thanks for joining us. We'll have another update in about 30 minutes. Back to you in the studio. CBS 11's Jim Walker joins me now live with our team coverage with more on that, Jim.
Well, Ken, all of those witnesses described the execution in graphic detail, how the IV was placed in McVeigh's leg, how he looked at everyone, and how he died with his eyes open. McVeigh was hardly alone as he lay on the gurney. Inside the death chamber, government, media, and families of those killed witnessed the execution.
Timothy James McVeigh died with his eyes open. When the curtains came back, he made eye contact with his people who came to support him. When the curtain passed the media center, Mr. McVeigh seemed to look up and intentionally make eye contact with each of us.
Each witness described McVeigh's behavior and clinical death the same way. The difference came in what they took his expressions to mean.
I think as a reporter you cover a lot of things and we've seen dead bodies, but the most chilling part of this was the fact, for me at least, that he took the time to look up and look at each of us in the eye, and there was almost a sense of pride as he nodded his head, laid back down, and seemed very resigned to his fate.
But did McVeigh's final expression equal remorse? Paul Howell, who lost his daughter in the bombing, says no.
What I was hoping for, and I'm sure most of us was, is that we could see some kind of maybe I'm sorry, something like that, but we didn't get anything from his face.
Even without that expression, these victims saw the killer killed and say there is satisfaction in justice.
Just a big sigh come over my body and just felt real good, sir.
Many people say Timothy McVeigh lived a life of mystery, and certainly mysterious in death as well.
All right, thanks, Jim. That'll do it for us here in Terre Haute, reporting live along with Jim Walker. I'm Ken Malloy, CBS 11.